Hi tonight. My name is Scott Passmore. I'm the athletic director for Bentonville School District. On behalf of Bentonville Schools and the athletic department, we welcome all of our future inductees tonight and their families. Let's put our hands together for them tonight. It's been an exciting day at Bentonville High School. We started the morning with our homecoming parade and went from a homecoming parade right into a homecoming assembly. Now we've got the Hall of Honor, and then we'll leave here tonight and head right over to BHS, to Tiger Stadium, to watch our Tigers play Harbor tonight in homecoming. So great day to be a Tiger and a great day to have the Hall of Honor. So I hope everybody got a chance to eat. Just want to remind you before we get started, if you need bathrooms, they're back here in the back corner down the hallway. If you bought a ticket for today's event, this ticket also works for the game tonight, so you'll just need to take your phone that you bought online and show them at the gate that you purchased that ticket, and it'll get you into the game as well. Again, I just want to take a minute, welcome everybody, and we're going to have a great time tonight. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to John McElroy, and he's going to take us through our inductees. And again, welcome to Bentonville High School.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm John McElroy, and on behalf of the Bentonville High School Athletic Department, I'd like to welcome each of you to the third annual Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor ceremony. Before we begin celebrating the induction of the 2022 class of the Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some people who have been instrumental in the success of this program. First, I'd like to recognize Bentonville Schools Athletic Director Scott Passmore, Bentonville High School Principal Jack Lloyd, and Bentonville High School alum and rabid Bentonville Tiger fan Robin Wright. A few years back, these individuals were directly responsible for envisioning this program that we're participating in tonight. They recognized that over the years, there had been a lot of wonderful people pass through the athletic programs of Bentonville High School, and recognized the time had come to establish this program to formally recognize some truly outstanding individuals that symbolize what Bentonville High School athletics is all about. Next, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Bentonville High School Athletic Director Chris Hutchins. Chris, or as most of us know him, Coach Hutchins, is the individual that has taken the vision of this Hall of Honor and made it a reality. Coach Hutchins has been the key piece in the organization and coordination of this program, which culminates with tonight's induction. Without the work of Coach Hutchins, we would not be sitting here this evening. Let's please give Coach Hutchins a round of applause for making this happen tonight. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize Superintendent of Bentonville Schools, Dr. Debbie Jones. We are fortunate here in Bentonville to have a superintendent that understands the importance of athletics and how excellence in our district's athletic programs serve to complement and enhance our outstanding academic programs. We certainly appreciate the support shown by Dr. Jones and all that she does for the students, staff, and the patrons of the Bentonville School District. And finally, I'd like to recognize the members of the Hall of Honor Board of Directors that have worked over the past spring and summer to select this class of inductees, as well as to help organize this evening's program. Would each of you stand as I call your name? Scott Passmore, Chris Hutchins, Jack Lloyd, Robin Wright, Martha Calger, Shane Redd, Todd Hook, Amber Morey, and Robert Lewis. Let's give these folks a round of applause. In a moment, we will be inducting 6 outstanding individuals as members of the Bentonville High School Athletics Hall of Honor. The process of selecting members begins each fall when nominations for the Hall are solicited from the Bentonville community at large. Once the community submits their nominations, members of the Hall of Honor Board of Directors evaluate each of the candidates and take a vote to finalize the class. Not only were these candidates here tonight evaluated on their contribution to Tiger athletics during their time at Bentonville High School, they were also evaluated on characteristics that are symbolic of excellence embodied by Bentonville High School. Character, integrity, contributions to school and to the community at large beyond high school are things that make a true Bentonville Tiger, and these are certainly the attributes of the inductees that are here tonight. So now let me take a moment to explain how we'll proceed with our program. Each inductee tonight has invited a person to say a few words about them. After I announce the name of the new inductee, I'll then introduce their presenter and ask them to come forward to the podium to speak. At the conclusion of the presenter's remarks, the inductee will come forward to receive a plaque recognizing their entry into the Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor. So without further ado, let's begin the induction of our new members. Our first inductee to the Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 1966. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Bill Burnett. Mr. Burnett has invited former Arkansas Razorback player and head coach Ken Hatfield to say a few words on his behalf. Let's please welcome Coach Ken Hatfield to the podium at this time.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Linda, who's up here now, Bill's mother, his father, his children, siblings, I want you to know it's an honor for me to be able to say a few things about Bill Burnett. Bill moved to Bentonville, I found out, in 1963, and as a ninth grader, the coaches had great vision, so they moved him to offensive guard. They did, offensive guard. But in the first half of the first game they're playing, the tailback got hurt, so they moved Bill to tailback. Only problem, they didn't give him the ball. He just was a statue back there. But finally, in the second half, they wised up and they gave Bill the ball. Gave it to him 7 times. He scored 6 touchdowns. Bill never moved back to offensive guard. Good job. Bill's unique running style earned him a full scholarship to the University of Arkansas and Coach Frank Boyles, where he excelled in the most important category, scoring. Led the Hogs in rushing also in 1968, 69, and 1970. Bill set records that still stand today, 52 years later after he played. He's number 1 in career rushing touchdowns at Arkansas with 46. He is number 1 in the most TDs in a career with 49. In 1996, Bill was elected to the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame in Little Rock, and with his brother Bobby and his dad Clell became the first family to ever have 3 members that have earned the right to be in the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. When I think of Bill, I think of Bill as a gold standard of the true student athlete. At Arkansas, he made the Dean's List, ODK Honorary Academic Society, was an academic All-American, won an NCAA scholarship for postgraduate studies, and went on to receive and earn 2 master's degrees and a PhD degree from North Texas State University. I think in 1972, though, Bill found his calling when he went to work with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, an organization dedicated to athletes and coaches and all they represent with the adventure and challenge of following Jesus Christ. Bill was the first ever full-time paid staff member of FCA. Today, there are 2,431 staff members. There's only one, and that was Bill Burnett. Bill and enthusiastic staff of Becky Patterson and Melissa Stevens, called the Three Amigos when they're getting started, would share Jesus with coaches like Barry Lunny and athletes one-on-one, and his sweet spirit was contagious. For over 50 years, Bill has shared his life with countless thousands. The biggest thing about Bill was when Bill left a meeting with you, I always felt much richer from what he had been and meant to me. Please welcome now into the Bentonville Sports Hall of Honor, Bill Burnett.
Our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 1994. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Robin Alpy Wright. Robin has invited her father, Mr. Dick Alpy, to say a few words on her behalf. Please welcome Mr. Dick Alpy to the podium at this time.
I know a lot of you know Robin, but I'll bet some of the things that you don't know you'll discover tonight. Robin Alpy Wright is a lifelong resident of Bentonville. She's an agent for Farm Bureau Insurance and is married to Dan Wright, a pro baseball scout for the Philadelphia Phillies. They have one son, Drew, who graduated BHS in June and is on a baseball scholarship to Labette College in Kansas. Also a member of the household is a black lab who loves to hunt ducks and is named Preacher after the famous baseball player Preacher Rowe. Robin's time at Old High, Walton Junior High, and BHS was a wonderful time filled with the critical development and close friendships with both students and coaches. I think her brother Will's struggle and fight with leukemia had a profound influence on her. She saw his day-to-day courage and determination to achieve a remission and the determination to play sixth grade football, and again, after a relapse, fought for a second remission. Secondly, Coach Gary Hutchison was also a broad influence on Robin. Hutch drafted her summer softball season in the third grade, where she met lifelong teammates of softball and basketball. Hutch instilled basics of all those sports, and as a seventh grader, she played for the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and he gave her uniforms for all three. BHS was a rewarding time for her, and she always made the honor roll, and she lettered in all 3 years in 3 sports. She played AAU summer basketball, ASA softball, and she never stopped. She just changed balls. Basketball was frustrating in the high school. They had 3 years, 3 coaches, 3 new systems, and 3 new personalities to deal with. But it was, in the long run, a blessing in disguise for Robin. Robin's three-point shooting skills continued to develop, and they won district and conference in 4A 2 out of 3 years, and she was all district and all conference in basketball each of those years. As a third baseman for the Summer Lady Tigers, they finished 7th of 50 state champions in the National ASA softball tournament. In basketball, Robin was named to the Kerm Dream Team all 3 years. She was chosen as a state MVP, and she received BHS' most prestigious award, the H.O. French Junior Outstanding Senior Girls Athlete Award in 1994. Robin was a 2-year letterman for Gary Blair's Lady Razorbacks. She played in every SEC venue except Vandy. She was a 2-year scholarship letterman on Arkansas's first Lady Razorback fast pitch team for Coach Carrie Deaver Boaz, and she scored the very first run ever at Lady Backyard. Heeding a request from BHS, Robin was named the Tigers' first volunteer fast pitch coach. She then took them to their first state tournament, deciding to miss her own graduation from the University of Arkansas. She did, however, 2 years later, make her master's graduation. She organized the annual and continuing Will Alpy Award. For over 32 years, it is presented each year to the outstanding student at Old High Elementary. She organized and collects the toys for the Festival of Stars at Arkansas Children's Hospital. She's been a parent leader for the Tiger football team under Coach Grant for this past 4 years. She also serves on the Bentonville Booster Club for the past 5 years. There are several unique memories, and I'll just share those with you because some of them were good and some of them kind of scared me to death. One of them was she, in a packed house, anticipating to see Razorback standout Corliss Williamson, Robin hit 5 trays in the first half at Russellville. She was a Lady Razorback color commentator. The Ladybacks finally were flying home from a ball game in Tennessee against Coach Summit when they encountered a thunderstorm around Hardison coming home from the ball game, and her plane inverted. And we didn't find out that for a few days, and the pilot lost his job. And in closing, every Friday night during football season, I walk into the stadium, Tiger Stadium, and I see Willpower in the end zone, and I see the Hutch box looming over Tiger Field. I am reminded of the virtues that were instilled in Robin by her brother Will and Coach Hutch. She lives these every day. Love your God, work hard, and never, ever accept mediocrity. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Robin.
All right. Our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 1995. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Bridget Smith Waddell. Miss Waddell has invited former Bentonville High School women's basketball coach and the current head coach of the Arkansas Razorback women's basketball team, Mike Neighbors, to speak on her behalf. Please welcome Coach Mike Neighbors.
Two things we need to clear up first. I was the swim coach first. Before, I was not one of the 3 coaches that Dick was talking about that made your life difficult. I was the swim coach first. So thank you for having me back. It's so great to see former students, former basketball players. Hi, Erica. Hi, Brian, Martha, everybody that, this is such a special place. So thank you for having me back. But you know, coaches are supposed to teach kids stuff, right? Coach Hatfield, we're supposed to teach them. That was not the case with Bridget. Bridget taught me how to coach. I was a rookie. Coach Orr hired me and showed up, and I was the swim coach. You said I volunteered, so we need to clear something up right now. It was the new coach was always going to be the swim coach. So when Coach Orr said, you're going to be the swim coach, it pays $100 stipend, and he said, you know, you're going to be great at this. I said, Coach, I cannot swim. And that's still a fact to this day, which I can verify with my wife. I still can't swim. How do you want me to be the swim coach? He said, well, Coach, they're really good. You just need to get there. I said, great. He said, well, when's the season? He said, well, all the time, year round. I said, okay, well, when's practice? He said, well, it's at 4:30. And I said, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm helping Coach Shelton with the boys basketball practice at 4:30. And he went, yeah, no, it's the other 4:30 a.m. And that was when they showed up every single day. I remember the first day you showed me how to put the lane ropes in. I had to either at 4:30, they started at 5 o'clock every day down the street at the Walmart Fitness Center. And it was hot in that auditorium. Nobody told me that either. Nobody even gave me a heads up. Coach, don't wear your jacket. By the way, this is the 1994 state championship jacket. Still fits, kind of. Nobody shared with me that the auditorium was going to be hot. But from 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock every day, Bridget was out there leading her team. And she taught me what it meant to be a coach. It was my first coaching job ever. I had no clue how to be a coach. I didn't know anything about swimming, and I remember making the promise to Bill and Vicki. I said, I don't know anything about it, but I promise you I know how to coach, and I'll be there for you. And we got recognition from the newspaper. You may not remember the newsletter we did. It was called Tanker Talk. I started a newsletter for parents, and I literally tried to read every book I could on swimming. The first swim meet I ever saw, I coached, and I was a basketball guy, so I was fired up. We got in a big huddle, and Bridget looked at me and she said, Coach, we don't really do that at swim meets. I said, well, we're going to do it with us. And she said, okay, whatever. And I was so nervous, and she finally walked by and said, hey, Coach, it's okay. This is just a high school meet. We're going to lap these people. And I said, well, it's only 200 meters. How are you going to lap somebody? And they did. They lapped them. But to watch them every single day show up with the dedication, what I learned from Bridget and her teammates has carried on to this very day with every team I've ever coached, whether it was the swim team, the tennis team, any of my college teams. I would put their dedication, how great they were together, and how they supported each other. The boys and girls team was one. We swam together. We traveled together. I was not a very good bus driver either, but they put up with me. And Bill and Vicki, y'all taught me how to be a coach as well with parents, what you needed and how to communicate. So I can't thank y'all enough. I'm so honored for you. I look at all your honors. Y'all can read these. They're amazing. Her swim record just got broke after 27 years in the breaststroke, 100-meter breaststroke. State champion all 4 years. All-American. When we go play at South Carolina in basketball, I go to try to find pictures because I know we're probably going to get beat in the basketball game, so I got to have something good to look forward to doing. But it's been a pleasure to know you. I would not be a coach, period, much less of any stature, if you hadn't been on that first swim team. So I thank you for that. And congratulations on the job y'all did raising her to be who she's become. I see you with your job at Walmart, and I know you're making a difference every single day for women. And I've been lucky to coach now in the women's sports my entire life when I wouldn't have known that when I first started. So thank you for everything you've done for this unit, this school, for me personally and my family. And welcome to this hall. Congratulations to everybody else that was going in today, but this, quite frankly, wouldn't be a hall of honor without you in it. Thank you.
All right. Our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 2004. At this time, would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Michael Stewart. Michael has invited former Bentonville High School track and football coach Rick Rachel to speak on his behalf. Let's please welcome Coach Rick Rachel to the podium at this time.
Just let me say that this is such an honor to be here tonight. I'm very humble with this company that is being involved in this, and some very, very great people. I looked at my watch. It reminds me of when I was a little kid in Sunday school, sitting by my mom. I said, "Mom, why does that preacher keep looking at his watch?" I said, "What does that mean?" She said, "Absolutely nothing." So I'll try to get through with this in my time. I'm so honored here to introduce Michael Stewart. His family's here, his mom and dad, his wife and his child. Beautiful family. And over the years that Michael ran track here, I tell you what, he's got a special place in my heart for what he accomplished here at Bentonville High School. If you look at the program, you could go down all these accomplishments, how many times he was all-conference, all-state, state champion, and the achievements that he made at the University of Arkansas, the fact that he was a two-time All-American and a trial competitor for the Olympics speaks so much of what a great young man this is. And I'm going to not talk about that. If you would bear with me, I got to know Michael pretty good while he ran track here at Bentonville. I would just like to tell you what I know about him. First of all, he was a very courteous young man when I first met him. And by courteous, and that's something you have to have. I have a quote that I gave to all of my athletes that I coach, whether it be football or track. Courtesy will get you further in life and cost you less than anything else in life. He lived by that saying. He was that type of person. He was kind. He was one of the most kind and courteous people that I've ever been associated with. I'm going to say this too. Michael was the type of athlete that was so gifted. But a lot of times, and we got coaches that, bear me out, Coach Lunny, sometimes those people with the most talent are the hardest to coach. Well, Michael Stewart was not that type of person. He took his coaching. He did what we provided for him as far as teaching him things to do. If it meant getting help, we got help. But we were going to make sure that when he competed, he was coached to do the very best that he could do, and he was for that. Michael was great in the classroom. He was a good student, and that came first. Academics was very, very important to Michael and his family. He was a competitive athlete. I said all the things about him being nice, but when he's put the helmet on or put the spikes on to run the track meet, he was a very fierce, I can't say it, I'll get through it, competitor. You know what I'm talking about. And it was a joy to watch him compete. Next, he understood his role. He was the most talented track athlete that I probably ever coached. And listen, guys, I coached for 50 years. 44 got paid for it, volunteered 6 or 8. He was the very best track athlete that I've ever been associated with in high school. And I'm just can't get over the fact of what he went on to accomplish after he graduated from Bentonville. He understood his role. He knew that he was going to compete individually in individual events, and he was going to try to win every one of those that he did. He also understood that he was competing for his team. And you know what? That's pretty special. A lot of athletes you see get caught up in themselves, but he was willing to share himself with his team. His senior year, he qualified for 6 events in a state track meet. A lot of people are lucky to qualify for 1. That's how great an athlete he was at track. And I'm going to borrow Coach Lunny's quote. It's all right, boss? He said, to me, Coach Lunny has used this quote quite often. He says, "To whom much is given, much is required." And that fits Michael Stewart to a T. He knew he was talented, and we needed him to perform, not just into this, individual events, but his team events, and he did that. I have many memories about Michael and his competitiveness and the friendship that we've grown to have over the years. I get a picture with him every time I can if I see him at track meets at Arkansas. My most cherished memory, and I'm going to end this with this probably, but maybe a little more, was a 4x400 meter relay in the state meet in 2004. Now, our relay team that year had not been beaten. We won it every time in every track meet that we went to. We went to the state track meet. It came time for the 4x400, and here comes North Little Rock. Parents, you remember that? Here comes North Little Rock. We go. He gets the baton in the end. He's got a slight lead on the second curve. The North Little Rock, and they were talented. They hadn't been beat either. The North Little Rock athlete got the baton and got ahead of Michael. When they turned the stretch to come down the finish line, Michael was behind him about 10 yards. Now, this is the type of athlete that we're talking about right now. Between there and the finish line, I saw him. He just kind of shook his head, and he was the type of guy that's not going to get beat. You know, he beat that guy 10 yards to the finish line. And we won the state championship in a 4x400 meter relay, which is a hard thing to do. We ran a 3:20.6, and it's still a school record here today. They got a lot of them, but they didn't get that in Michael. Okay? Athletics teaches lessons for life. Hard work, discipline, desire, the never give up attitude. Michael Stewart exemplifies those things in life because he learned by working hard, doing the things that he needed to do, and selling out that he could be successful. It is my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you Michael Stewart to the BHS Hall of Honor 2022.
Our next inductee was a graduate of Bentonville High School, class of 2012. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Rebecca Brown Sorby. Rebecca was not able to be here with us this evening, but at this time we'd like to play a short video she made for us.
Hello, fellow Tigers and
Hello,
Hall
fellow
of Honor
Tigers
inductees.
and Hall of Honor
I want to
inductees.
start by saying how
I want to
grateful
start
I
by
feel
saying
to
how
have been
grateful I
chosen to be in
feel
the
to have been chosen to
2022
be in the
Bentonville High School
2022
Hall of Honor.
Bentonville High School Hall of
When I
Honor.
look back at my time at
When I
Bentonville
look
High
back at my
School,
time
I'm
at
reminded
Bentonville
of
High
a time
School,
where
I'm
life
reminded
was
of a
as
time
simple
where
as
life
eat,
was as simple
sleep,
as eat,
breed, and play
sleep,
Tiger
breed,
volleyball.
and play Tiger volleyball.
As I continued my volleyball
As I
career
continued
throughout
my
college
volleyball
and
career throughout
professionally,
college and
I can
professionally,
confidently say
I
that
can
the impact
confidently
that Coach
say
Smith
that the
and her
impact that
program
Coach
had on
Smith
me
and her program
changed my
had on me
confidence
changed
and
my
the course of what I
confidence
thought my
and
life
the course
would
of
look
what
like.
I thought my life would look like.
Outside of my parents, Coach
Outside of
Smith
my
has been one of
parents,
the most
Coach Smith has
impactful
been
people
one
in
of the
my
most
life.
impactful
The
people in my
growing that I
life.
did at BHS
The growing that I did
allowed
at
me to be able to
BHS
handle
allowed me to
adversity,
be able to handle
changes,
adversity,
competition,
changes,
every area of my
competition,
life as I
every area
grew
of my
up and
life
moved
as
on.
I grew up and moved on.
My time at BHS
My time
allowed
at
me to set the
BHS
mold
allowed
of
me
the
to
person I
set
was
the
going to
mold of
grow
the
up and
person I was
become.
going to grow up
Without
and
the
become.
trials,
Without the
tears,
trials,
and
tears, and
my
unwavering
volleyball
support
program
from
and
my volleyball
family,
program
I would
and my
not be the person that I
family,
am
I would not be
today.
the person that I am
With
today.
that, I want to thank
With
everyone
that, I
again for
want to thank
allowing me the
everyone again
privilege
for
to be
allowing me
inducted
the
into the
privilege to be
Bentonville High
inducted
School
into the Bentonville
2022
High
Hall
School
of Honor.
2022
Go
Hall of
Tigers.
Honor. Go Tigers!
And now at this time, let's welcome Rebecca's father, Mr. Treg Brown, to the podium to speak on her behalf.
Where's the mom? There you are. Okay, don't want to lose you. You're half this battle. Hey, Scott, Chris, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you putting this on tonight, and for all the other inductees, well-deserved, and congratulations. We're so proud of Rebecca, and as she said, volleyball took her places she never thought she would go. She started playing when she was in 3rd grade, and she loved volleyball, and volleyball all the way through here in 2 state championships, to play in Division I for 4 years. And actually, Bill, your connection with FCA, in her junior year, an FCA trip to Thailand made her aware that she could play professionally. And from there, she played professionally in Europe in 4 years, and that's where she met her husband, and that's why she's not here tonight, because she lives in the northern tip of Scotland, where he's currently based with the Royal Air Force. So she's had a really great time. And I have to tell you, for Rebecca, what she said was so smart, was so spot on. What she learned here at Bentonville and through the sport of volleyball has been so critical to her success, because there's nothing in life that she hasn't already dealt with through her volleyball, whether it's perseverance, working effectively as a team, handling multiple tasks successfully, facing adversity, having to step up as a leader. All those things are so critical in whatever you do in the rest of your life, and she has learned them so well, and she's doing excellent. So we're so proud of her for that. And all of this is really because of Coach Smith, who's joining us tonight. You heard how much Rebecca loves Coach Smith. So we have to tell you, thank you for investing in her. And we think of you as a coach, a friend, but more importantly, is family. So thank you all.
All right. Our final inductee tonight was also a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 2012. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Dallas Hardison. Dallas has invited former Bentonville High School head football coach and Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Coach Barry Lunny Sr., to speak on his behalf. Let's please welcome Coach Lunny to the podium.
Thank you. Coach Neighbors, you never coached football either, have you?
One day.
One day? You could have coached this team because of the players and the young men I'm going to talk about right now. You know, one of the humbling things about coaching sometimes is you realize that they can get along without you. They don't need you. During the 2010 season, our undefeated season, and I hope y'all would look at the sheet here on Dallas. My mother was dying with cancer. My mother-in-law was dying. One of my best friends that I coached with at Southside died, all within about a 4-week period of time in October, right in the middle of football season. So I was driving back and forth to Fort Smith and trying to coach a football team. And I drove back from Fort Smith early one morning to make sure I got to practice on time, because this is these kids one time. This is especially the seniors one time, and so I knew I wanted to give them the best. And I pulled in, and they were already practicing. Got in some traffic, and it just dawned on me, well, I hope the administration doesn't understand this, that they could do without me. I'll lose my job in a hurry. I felt like a lot of the biggest part of my job was to make sure I had the bus started, had the kids on the bus, and got them safely to the field. And I'm going to say this too, since most of us are pretty much family here, so many faces, to have Coach Rachel here tonight. Y'all don't know how special this is. His son Trent's been in the hospital for about 16 days. Very serious, critical. Doing better or he wouldn't be here tonight, but he wanted to be here tonight to be a part of this. And so keep Trent in your prayers as he's recovering, and Rick's family as they go through this time as well. When you look at the accomplishments that Dallas Hardison, our inductee, has, there's just so numerous, it's incredible. 2007-ish, maybe, Dallas, I'm not sure. You were in 8th grade or 6th or something like that. And my son Barry was here coaching at the time, and he was teaching at Washington Junior High School. And he told me at practice one day, "Hey, Dad, there's a young junior high quarterback that wants to job shadow you next week, job shadowing." And I said, "Sure." And I said, "What's he like?" And he says, "Great kid, really great kid." I said, "What kind of quarterback is this?" "Well, I'm not sure, he's not real big. He may not ever play for us, but he's a really great kid, and he loves football. He knows more stats on NFL quarterbacks. He is a walking encyclopedia on football, and college football, pro football." So he showed up to job shadow me. Do you remember this? Yeah. Don't repeat any of that. I would have got fired then too. But he followed me around today. We sat down in the office, and sure enough, he wasn't a very stature-wise, wasn't a very tall, big kid. And we talked a little bit, and yeah, he knew a lot about football, and really shows you how much I know. In my mind, I thought, be a good, maybe a B team quarterback. He loves football. He'll be in our program, but probably never play for us on the varsity level. Now, you talk about prejudging. Am I the only one that's ever done that? And when you look down at these stats, you can see how wrong I was. Dallas Hardison broke every record, passing record. I don't know if he still holds all of them, but those of you that were involved in the football program of our school during those years couldn't wait to fill up the stands on Friday night to go watch this young man play. It was an incredible, the uncanniness of his ability to find the open receiver, deliver the ball on time. I've heard coaches say this before, so it's not new with me. You've got something special when your best players are the hardest workers, the best teammates, the first on the field, last to leave the court. You got something special. All of the things you have here that he's accomplished pale in comparison, truthfully, with the teammate that he was, the encourager he was to everybody. Didn't matter if they were C team, played on Monday nights, he loved to be around the team. Second home, it was in that field house with his teammates. And when you have that at the quarterback position, it's something special. He got his first start at Fort Zomwall West, a very strong program right outside of St. Louis, his junior year. And we went up to play the football game, and this is his first start. We had our starting quarterback at that time and got injured a couple the week before, and so we're going on the road. And we get to the game, and it's a big game. It's a non-conference game. And the game starts. We get the ball. They're in the first quarter and get it around midfield. And we had a certain pass play called, which basically is four verticals, four receivers, two receivers on each side running vertical. And because the coverage they had, which was cover two, which means nothing to most of you, but it was cover two, which means the inside slot receiver on the right side is supposed to run right between the two safeties. He's our primary receiver in a cover two look. So the very first pass play and the third down, it unfolds. I heard the play call. I'm watching it, and I know where the ball should be going as soon as it snapped because of the coverage. Should be going to the inside receiver between the safeties. And all this is happening fast, and then as I see it develop, I see the ball come out to the outside. It wasn't going to the receiver on the inside like it was supposed to be. And for a thousandth of a second, I thought, yep, rookie quarterback, choked, forgot his read. Well, the ball goes out, and it happened to be to his best friend, Mason Snow, and it's a 60-some-odd yard touchdown. Everybody comes off the field excited, and the new quarterback making the throw, start, touchdown, and he goes by me, everybody's congratulating him. I kind of reach, I don't know if he remembers this, but I reach over and grab him after I'd patted him on the helmet and said, good job, and I pulled him back over to me, and I said, just what I explained to you. You didn't really throw the ball where you're supposed to, because sometimes kids do something that they're not supposed to do, and they get by with it, and if you empower them to keep doing that, messes up your offense. And he said, yeah, Coach, I know that. I know we're supposed to go in the middle. He said, but I saw the corner just squat, and I knew Mason was going to run right by, and the safety would never catch him. He's faster than him. I watched him warm up in pre-games or something to that effect. I said, okay. You'll have to say 6, John. That was a prelude to what happened almost every Friday night. Dallas had the ability to see things, vision, and see the open person, and I'm telling you, almost every week. And it got so kind of comical with Barry Jr., who was the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. It was just, I can remember a play down the goal line one night in a big game, and it went to the wrong guy, right? It didn't go to the guy we were supposed to throw it to, but he hit the guy in the middle for a touchdown. And we just looked at each other, everybody's jumping, we looked at each other and just went, have you ever been there? No, don't shoot that through. Yes, good. I don't remember him messing one of those up. I don't remember me having to get on to him because of that. You don't coach that. That's what we call the it factor. He just got it. How can I explain it during the reporters after the game? I don't know. But he's a winner. He was the guy that drove the train that the kids loved to be around, and they followed suit. And it was just week after week after week after week. If you look at these numbers, currently 5th all-time in football completion percentage if he had attempted 2 more passes. But what that means, it doesn't qualify for the record books because he didn't meet the minimum number of passes to qualify. But he still finished all 5th nationally in completion percentage. When you look at these numbers, here's the thing I want you to understand about these numbers. We were fortunate enough to be very good for those 2 years. The mercy rule is in effect in the state of Arkansas. Most every game that we played, most, not all, was over at halftime, if you know what I'm saying. He played maybe three quarters enough. In other words, he would play a half and maybe one series the second half. He might have played in 2 years of football, might have played one full season plus 2 games because he was out most all the 3rd and 4th quarter. When you look at these numbers, he would have shattered every national number at that time that we had. Yet he played every game, the full game. That's what makes this most amazing to me. You need to know that. I wish I could tell everybody in America that. Sometimes the numbers always don't equate to the quality of achievements that an individual has. The other thing I'm so proud of, Dallas, not only those 2 years, we lost 1 game. You look at his record as a starter, 55-1 as a starting quarterback, I think. So those things don't happen by accident. He's a great leader. Kids loved him. They rallied around him, and he loved his teammates. That's the most important. He just loved his teammates. But if you look at the other accomplishments and what he's involved in, coaching youth football and basketball, I've seen him at Fayetteville AAO coaching basketball. I've seen him at coaching football, giving back. He loves kids. He loves his family, loves his sister. He's just a giver and a lover, and loved his teammates, and he loved Bentonville High School. I have been blessed. Barry, my son, couldn't be here, and he wanted me to let you know that he needs you in Champaign. And I get questioned. My son, my oldest son, asked me one time, he said, "Was Dallas better than me?" How do you answer that question? No, but he was close. He sent his best and said he wished he could be here for it. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome one of the all-time greats in Bentonville, one of the all-time greats that I've ever coached, not just as a football player, but as a teammate and a leader and a young man, Dallas Hardison.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, to close our program tonight, I'd like to bring Bentonville High School Principal, Mr. Jack Lloyd, to the podium. Mr. Lloyd.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here tonight. And my speech is only about 30 minutes, so it'll be all right. No, I do have a few words to say, but what I do want to say first is do some house cleaning. Remember that we have set up in the end zone for all the inductees, so you can go into the end zone at the game tonight. But then remember, we have a presentation at halftime, so be ready for that at halftime. And I think Chris Hutchins will come down there and do that. So a lot of you in the room know me. I'm a Bentonville grad, and yes, I can remember Coach Neighbors when you were here and coaching and all of those things, and Dallas and Mason hooking up with those passes, and it's just amazing. And you know, I just bleed black and gold. I love Bentonville High School. I love the athletics part. But to the inductees tonight, what I want to do is say thank you, because without you, the tradition would not be here. Mr. Burnett, and I'm looking for Mr. Burnett, thank you. Thank you for all you did for our program. You were one of the pioneers that kicked this thing off, and I truly appreciate the history that you give to Bentonville, but not only that, your faith in with FCA. And I thank you, sir. Hey, it's great to be a Tiger. I want to thank Dr. Jones. She did come in. Thank you for your guidance and leadership with this district, and we so much appreciate you and your support. Hey guys, without Scott and Chris, Scott Passmore and Chris Hutchins, we couldn't do this. And I really hate to say stuff in front of them and brag on them in front of them and give them the big head, but guys, I truly appreciate what you do for our athletic program also. Thank you guys. All right, so we have a little business to take care of tonight. We're going to go over and take care of the Wildcats, the Harbor Wildcats, and so looking forward to seeing you guys at the game. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It was a blessing to have you in my building. Thank you and have a nice afternoon.